Welcome back to FM Story. We're approaching the midway point of season 16 of this Glory Hunt save, where we're trying to win the Europa League with Valencia to end the save. Things are going reasonably well. They went a lot better in the last episode than they did in the first episode with Valencia. As far as the league's concerned, we're currently sat around a Europa League qualifying spot for next season. But in the Europa League, we're currently sat in 5th. We've won 4 games out of 5, having only lost to Tottenham. But we do have big games coming up. We've got Man United coming up in the Europa League. We've got some big games coming up in the league, including Barcelona and Real Madrid. So without further ado, let's get into the action. We are into December. We've got a home game coming up against Man United in the Europa League, which we could do with getting a result in. And we've started the episode pretty well. First up with the home game against Barcelona. We managed to take the lead twice, but threw it away both times. But in the end, to be honest, a 2-2 draw against Barcelona, I think we'll take that. We then beat Tenerife 2-1 away from home. Although they did get a very late consolation goal, we weren't really under too much threat of them getting an equaliser. And then we beat Levante 2-0, taking the opportunity to rest a couple of players in that game as well for this game against Man United. So, going into the game against Man United, we're currently in 5th in the Europa League with 12 points from 5 games. A victory here would probably just about guarantee ourselves a spot in the knockout stages. And as far as the league's concerned, we're currently in 7th, level on points with Girona in 6th. And it's been a pretty decent start to the season. Obviously, we're a long way behind Atletico, who are 8 points clear at the top of the table, who actually we play in our next league game. But league-wise, things are going pretty well. Realistically, from the league this season, what we want is to probably finish in a Europa League spot, just in case we don't win the Europa League this season. But we've got a home game against Man United coming up in the Europa League. They've obviously not had the best of starts of the season, with them being sat in 12th. They've won 2, so they've beaten Olympiacos and Galatasaray. They've drawn against Napoli and Benfica. And they've lost 3-2 to Auxerre, who we've already beaten 7-1. So it could be an interesting game, this one, to be honest. All right, so this is the side we've picked going into the game against Man United. We had rested a couple of players for the last league game. So Oravec comes back in wide right. Lepe comes back in through the front. Sasa Benic is struggling a bit fitness-wise in terms of the number of games he's played. So Cantames has come in at right back. But hopefully we can pick up a result against them. We do have at least one of their players in our squad, in that Zanon is on loan from Man United. And I think actually Benic is on loan from Man United as well. So hopefully they can produce performances if called upon. So both teams going with a variation on the 4-2-3-1. Oravec has picked up a very early booking there. Shibani Mikengo with a free kick lifted into the box. Mosquera gets his head on it and it just loops over the top. They've got the ball at the back. And now they've got a bit of an overload on that right-hand side. A low cross into the box. Great save by Miosh. Unfortunately, the second one's turned home. I don't think that can possibly be offside. No, it's not. It was just far too easy for them. Hitching down the right, just drives at Ona, fires a low cross in. It's a great save from close range by Miosh. Just, he couldn't do anything about the second one. Free kick for them. We're struggling to get on the ball a bit here, but Cantames has nicked that one down the line to Oravec. Into the box. And Sierra Alta goes flying through the air. And it looks like we've been given a penalty. And a chance back to get back into the game. It's been given. It's Javi Guerra to step up to take it, sends the keeper the wrong way. The veteran Valencia player levels it up 1-1. And to be honest, I'm not sure that we really deserve to be back in this game, but we're back in it. Lovely penalty. And the first half's quieting down a touch since those 2 goals. Not much happening. And there we are, half-time 1-1. We've certainly not been at our best, but we've managed to level it up. And hopefully we can put in a strong performance in the second half. Right, so from the kick-off, they try to attack down the left-hand side. Lepe's won it back in midfield. Out to Oravec. Into Serie Alta, making a run into the box. They've managed to work it back to their keeper and then gone long. Mosquera wins a header, but they've picked up the loose ball. Horrible back pass. Lepe's in. Beats the keeper. The keeper was well out of position as well. And a great start to the second half. Quickly in front. Ganta goes back. Misses the centre half. The keeper's well out of position. Lepe takes a touch and then into an empty net for 2-1. Cantamessa to Oravec. Cantamessa. Zanon. Into Sierra Alta. Back to Mosquera. Cantamessa into the box. Lepe. What a finish that is. I think he's probably offside, but that was a great finish on his left foot. It's been given. So Sierra Alta goes back to Mosquera, out to Cantamessa. He takes a touch in swinging ball towards the back post, and Lepe just lets it drop on the volley and guides it past the keeper for 3-1. And that's 2 goals in 3 minutes to start the second half. Well onside as well. Lovely ball. Great finish. Right, we made a couple of changes. Oravec's on a yellow card and hasn't been great. So Faber's coming on the right and Massantuono's coming back from injury. So he's come on for Zanon and Sierra Alta's dropped back. Mios with the ball at the back, rolls it out to Mosquera. Wide to Cantamessa, onto Faber. Cantamessa into Massantuono, who loses out. Low ball into the box. And that's probably a result of Massantuono being out for so long. Not quite fully up to game speed. He's been knocked off the ball. They've broken. The ball's come out to Ganta. He's fired another little cross in, and Cavadini again firing past Mios. Cantamessa with a throw. Massantuono down the line this time. Cantamessa, low cross in. And there's Lepe to complete his hat-trick. A great start to the second half he's had here. I was considering taking him off at half-time because of how ineffectual he'd been, but he's really repaid the faith with those 3 goals in the second half so far, and that's 4-2. Massantuono down the line. Cantamessa just hits the first time cross low into the 6-yard box, and it's a simple finish for Lepe. Right, a corner for them. In swinger to the near post. A free header basically for Lyon. And that ends up in the back of the net. And that's 4-3 with 5 minutes left to go. Yeah, no one really even challenged him in the air there. 6 minutes of injury time to be played. 6 minutes for us to hold on. We're almost there. And there we go, full time. We've ended up coming away with a 4-3 victory. A much better performance in the second half, despite conceding those 2 goals in the second half. But we looked a real threat going forward. Lepe picked up a hat-trick in that second half, and that should be good enough to make sure that we're at least in the knockout stages of the Europa League. We are approaching the end of January. We've got our last game in the league phase of the Europa League, and hopefully looking at where the 2 teams are, it should be a pretty straightforward one. We are guaranteed to be in the knockout stage. We're practically guaranteed to be in the top 8 as long as we get a decent result in this game. we should be fine. It is also transfer deadline day, and it's unlikely that we're going to bring anyone in. We don't have enough money available to sign anyone who is going to improve our squad, I don't think. And we've had an interesting run of games since the victory over Man United in the Europa League. We went away to runaway leaders in the league, Atletico. It was a fairly dull game for the most part. They got a late winner. We were pretty bad all game. We then crashed out of the Copa del Rey at the first attempt, but bounced back with a 3-0 victory at home against Sevilla. We drew 1-1, conceding a late equaliser against Real Madrid. So in the 2 games we played against Real Madrid this season, we've picked up 4 points from those 2 games. It's the first time Real Madrid are not going to have won the league title unless something dramatic happens in the second half of the season. Since before we were in charge of Real Madrid, they are right well off the pace. We then hammered Slavia Prague 7-0 in the penultimate game of the league phase of the Europa League. Sasa Benic popped up with a hat-trick from right back and then got himself sent off, so he's suspended for this last game against Antwerp. We were able to bring Eduardo Rodriguez into the fold. Eduardo Rodriguez was a player we signed in the summer with the intention of sending out on loan, at least for the first half of the season, because he was a non-EU player and it would help him develop. In the end, he didn't get the loan spell, but since the first half of the season, Lino Sierra Alta has become a EU player. He's taken Spanish nationality, and it gave us the extra space in the squad for Eduardo Rodriguez to come in, and he was outstanding on the left-hand side in that game. And then the most recent game was a league game away at Villarreal, and we absolutely stunk the joint out. We were terrible. We were 3-0 down after 25 minutes. It could have been 5 or 6 down at half-time. We got a couple of goals back, but just we were never, ever really in the race in that game. So going into the Europa League, this last game against Antwerp, we're sat in third on 18 points. As long as we get a decent result in this game, we should be safe enough to be into the top 8. We are playing the team who are 34th and have only won 1 game, and that was against Slavia Prague, who we've just beaten 7-0. So hopefully we can go out there, get a result, see ourselves into the top 8, skip a round of the Europa League, and then it gives us a platform to kick on from in the second half of the season. So this is the side we're going into this last Europa League game with. We've got Cantamessa playing right back because Benic is suspended after that red card at the end of the Sparta Prague game. We've got Oravec and Sierra Alta in the centre midfield because David Zanon has been recalled by Man United from his loan spell. We've gone with Shabani Makengo off the right because that allows us to put Eduardo Rodriguez off the left, and Mastantuono's finally back from injury. We are missing Marbod Lepe, so Faber's playing up through the middle. And we are in a pretty strong position with our goal difference. Oravec with a corner. It's headed up in the air. Rodriguez back in. Still alive, Rodriguez. Out to Cantamessa on the right. Gets to the byline. Squares it. And Shabani Makengo fires in. Keeper got something on it. It goes past him. And that's 1-0. And just exactly what we were kind of expecting from this game. Cantamessa goes forward. Just squares it with the outside of his left foot. It gets a nick off the defender, hits the keeper, goes in, but we'll take it. Right, Cantamessa with a throw for us. Mastantuono. We've given it away in a stupid position here. Trying to get in behind on the right, into the box. It's a hell of a pass. It took out 3 of our defenders, and that is a concern because we were pretty abysmal defensively against Villarreal as well. And this is just far too easy. 1 ball takes out 3 defenders, and it's a simple finish. Right, another throw from Cantamessa. Oravec into Mastantuono. Back to Mastantuono. What a finish that is. Absolutely rifled it in off the underside of the bar. Restores the lead in the game. And hopefully we can just settle down a bit from here. Bit of a 1-2 there with Serie Alta. And then he just hammers it in off the underside of the bar. A great finish. But they've got a free kick into the box. We've won a header, but they're going to pick up the loose ball on the wing. Oh, we've won it back though. Shabani Mikengo then gives it away. And now they're in behind us. Oh, thank God for that. Why he went with the outside of his right foot there, I don't know. But we'll take it because that should have been 2-2. Rodriguez is fouled down the left. That's got to be a second yellow card. And hopefully now that we're against 10 men, we can take advantage of that in the second half. Well, there we go. Half-time 2-1. We've been far, far from our best. And there are some concerning things happening in that defence with that Villarreal game. Because Real Madrid, their equaliser, they tore us apart. But other than that, we didn't really give them too many chances. We then got destroyed by Villarreal. And now every time Antwerp go forward, they look like they're going to score as well. Right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half. And now we've picked up an injury. Fair is going to have to come off. Albiak can come on. He wants to leave for first team football, but he's not really shown anything in the games he's played to deserve that, really. Onat with a throw. It comes back to him. Into Rodriguez, back to Onat. Serie Alta swings the ball into the back post. Shabani Mikengo drops back to pick it up. Cantamessa cuts in on his left foot, goes down in the box. That's a penalty. And surely a great chance now to just create a bit more of a gap and a bit of a cushion and make everything a bit more secure. It's Albiak to step up, beats the keeper. That's 3-1. And that should be enough to secure us into the top 8 and make it into the last 16. Great penalty, good height. Keeper wasn't going to get that high. Right, a corner for them to the back post. A free header. And that's a concern. I mean, in the end, there was 3 of them jumped and none of our defenders did. Right, a long goal kick. Oravec eventually gets it. Alejandro Francis on the right-hand side here. And driving forward still. Cross towards the back post. There's Eduardo Rodriguez to head home. His first goal for the club. And restores the 2-goal advantage. So the veteran Francis down the right-hand side, I think he's still deciding whether he's going to play on at the end of the season. Crosses to the back post. Rodriguez with a pretty free header. And the keeper didn't even attempt to save it. Just about onside there, I think. Serie Alta with a late free kick down the line. It comes back to him. Finds Mosquera. Luis Carlos into Rodriguez in the box. Doubles his tally for the season. Nice finish. And just puts a bit of an icing on the cake. Luis Carlos just helps it onto Rodriguez, takes a touch, and just sort of chips it almost into the far corner there. And there we go, full time 5-2. Far, far from our best. But we've managed to come out on the right end of things there. As you can see from the league table, we finished 3rd there. obviously we made it into the last 16, but when you look at some of the teams that are going to be in the playoffs, so Orcs there were supposed to be highly ranked. Man United, Benfica, Ajax. There are some potentially difficult games coming in the last 16, depending on who we manage to get drawn against. And there we are, the end of another episode. We're into the second half of season 16 of the Save, and things are going pretty well. Obviously, the aim for the season is to win the Europa League. We've finished third in the league phase. We're into the last 16. I couldn't really have asked for much more than that. We may need to pick up our league form slightly because hopefully we can finish in a Europa League qualifying spot in the league, just in case we don't win the Europa League this season. Coming up in the next episode, we've got the last 16 of the Europa League. So join us then, see if we can make it into the quarterfinals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.